Our tips are backwards talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I guess technically also Rebirth with this. It's hard to break away from that. I've been saying Final Fantasy VII Remake at the beginning of my videos for the last couple of years, but we're coming up on Rebirth, which is the next game, but also Remake still works at the intros. It's still the Remake trilogy, whatever the case. Today is, of course, Thanksgiving. I know not everybody in the world celebrates that shit, and even if you live in the US, you don't celebrate it necessarily, but my family does, so we've been kind of busy the last couple days, but I did want to put something out today for you guys. You might have seen my community post. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen it there as well. I know I shout out my Twitter like every video, but it's like the only social media I use anymore. It's toxic as fuck, just like every other social media, but every other social media is boring compared to Twitter for me. But what we have is Britt, the fantastic English voice actor for Tifa Lockhart, of course, is back in the studio. She posted on her IG story. It's still there as I'm recording right now. It might not be there, but depending on when this video is uploaded. Now, she had posted a short video and 2 pics to her IG story with her, like, bringing her dog to work or whatever. And, of course, when we see Britt in the studio, we automatically revert to Remake and Tifa, which it definitely could be that, especially with people thinking that there could be something at the Game Awards. It's possible she could be doing, like, voiceover work for, like, an upcoming trailer, potentially. But to be honest, I guess I'd never really looked into, like, her filmography on, like, the wiki or whatever, but she's actually done voiceover work for a couple of other video games, and at least one animated series, Young Justice. She played the character of Livewire from 2019 until present, so she's still voicing that character. So it's possible that she could be doing voiceover work for something else entirely, but of course it's exciting because it could be for something FF7 related. But something I actually pointed out with the community post, if you happen to seen that, or if you'd seen the tweet I put out last night about this, the studio that she's in looks very different from the one that they actually did voiceover work for Remake, where it has like this Minecraft looking background that people pointed out. We'd actually gone down a rabbit hole more than 2 years ago, like late 2020 or something, when we're all still desperate for FF7 related content. Remake wasn't even that old, but we just all wanted more. And we had seen that Britt was doing voiceover work, and so was Erica Lindbeck, who of course voices Jessie. But the backgrounds of the studios that we're in were the exact same, which is why we all assumed that it was something FF7 Remake related, which of course we later on learned that, Intergrade was coming out, and also Episode Intermission, where both of their characters, Tifa and Jessie, would also have some lines, of course. Now, I bring up those older videos because that's the only reason that I'm aware of the fact that where she's recording at now looks different. That being said, it could still be the same studio, Skylark Sound Studio, which is where they recorded for Remake, but maybe they've remodeled. It's been a couple years, obviously, since then. It's also possible that if they're doing voiceover work for, like, Rebirth or something, it could be at a completely different studio now, potentially. I mean, who knows? Also, I've seen somebody point out that it could be the same studio still, Skylark Sound Studios, but it's maybe just a different room, different booth or something that doesn't have that kind of Minecraft-looking background. And it's also possible that she's just doing voiceover work for something else entirely. Either way, it's exciting that she's in the studio. It could be for something else, non-FF7 related, but more than likely, I would think that's what it is. I want to say that somebody else from the Remake team was also recording recently. I want to say it was like John Eric Bentley in the last like several months. Like, I don't know if it was on like Twitter or somewhere that he posted it or somebody else posted it, but I couldn't track it down for this video, and it might not have been him, but I would want to say somebody else was doing it. Could have been Erica Lindbeck as well. Either way, whatever it was, we just never talked about it at the time because it just didn't seem video-worthy then, but now that we're gearing up to when people think there could be a trailer, which is Game Awards, the fact that we're seeing Britt in the studio, it's very, very possible that it could be something for that. And even if it's not for like a trailer or something coming up, she could obviously just be doing voiceover work for Rebirth, which is still quite a ways away. Like, we still got more than a year, right? And actually, you know what? Just like we did a couple years ago with those initial selfies from her when she was doing voiceover work, I did some internet sleuthing again. And it turns out that I guess they maybe did remodel the inside of Skylark Sound Studios, or maybe it's a different room or booth or whatever the case, but you can actually find the booth that she's currently doing voiceover work in. You can see in this picture, if you look in the background through the glass, you can see that kind of diamond carpet pattern, and if you look at the pictures she put on her IG story, it's the exact same carpet. So she's 100% doing voiceover work in the same studio where they did voiceover work for Remake, and presumably where they'd be doing it for Rebirth as well. And not that we really need to prove anymore that these are the same rooms, but you actually see that the chair that Britt's sitting in is the same type of chairs that are in that room in the far right picture. And then also, whatever is in like the corner of the rooms, the kind of rounded tan things, you can see one actually behind Britt as well. And also the blue walls and shit. So now it's definitely way more exciting, because it's got to be like 100% something for Rebirth. It's just a matter of what. Is it for an upcoming trailer potentially? Is it just general VA work for the game itself? I almost left the video kind of ambiguous, because I was kind of going to wrap up the video, and I got to think about it. I was like, you know what, we did this last time, where we kind of just looked up Skylark Sound Studios to see what it looks like on the inside, to see if it matched those old voiceover work pics that she put out. And I tried it again this time. I just Googled Skylark Sound Studios, and I'll be damned if it's not like some of the first pictures you find, where it definitely is a room that matches where she's recording at currently. So hell yeah. But my dudes, that is going to be pretty much the video. So of course, pass off to you guys. So what do you think she's recording for? It's got to be Rebirth, but what do you think she's recording for specifically? Is it just general VA work, or do you expect us to see a trailer relatively soon? That's the video, my dudes. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidbyt. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it no shame, we blow that. Like Coltrane, we in here. Like Logain or leave it. Like Cobain.